Open ether circuit.
Oh, there he is. Voices over there. Fatebinder. It seems a lifetime ago that we bandied words with the Archon of Greybeards in the war tent. We are so pleased to see you return to our fold. As if proclaiming and resolving the same edict weren't impressive enough, you found the temerity to reject Rev and Ash and support our right to conquer these lands. You deserve a just reward when this is over. But it's too early to congratulate ourselves, while there's plenty of war still to fight. Though we were less impressed by your treatment of our gangs in Stalwart, you let them go to sleep on empty bellies. Fatebinder. What happened in Stalwart? Oh, because I don't remember. I don't remember what happened. Where's Stalwart? The voices admonishes you with a raised finger. Oh, Songbird. How are you, dear? It's been so long since you visited Cacophony. We had worried that you forgot Uncle Nerat. He opens his arms to embrace Tyranny. While I might not be able to get inside that head of yours, Uncle, I am more than capable of turning this camp against you. It might cost me my life, but if it kept you from touching me, it would be worth it. Step back, or our reunion will be blood-soaked. We look forward to catching up in time. You won't always follow the Fatebinder's heels, will you, dearest? He turns to you. What do you need to know? We're dizzy with answers. I'm curious about the Scarlet Horse's history. And why wouldn't you be? Rest a spell and let our words wriggle among the chaos of your imagination. Let me put this somewhere else. The great uninformed think of the Scarlet Chorus as one of Kairos' many armies. In fact, they're our personal force, beginning in the earliest days of our power. We cobbled together a rabble of miscreants from freshly conquered territories. The Scarlet Chorus has always been dredged from the bottom feeders. Then there are the camp followers who skulk in a long shadow. As Kairos forged the rest of the great empire, we were used to subdue any lingering resistance. Those who opposed Kairos' peace joined our howling disharmony and lived or died in Kairos' war. A fitting fate, is it not? By the time Kairos set magnanimous eye on the tears, it was all but assumed that the Scarlet Chorus would lead the vanguard. Though they answer to us, we are happy to loan their services for the Overlord's pleasure. Anything else? Tell me of the Scarlet Chorus's tenets. Tenet the first: whatever you can claim through sheer force of will is yours for the taking. Those who think us chaotic should spend some time away from the farm and learn what it means to survive. That also means you can kill who you want. Kairos' peace extends to servants of the Empire, but these tiersmen haven't enjoyed the pleasure of our laws yet. Until they do, they can treat them like sport. Not even starchy all-to-none will get offended. Any other rules, if you must call them that, fall under the umbrella of the basic philosophy. Take what you want, but keep what you take. How do you manage an army as vast as the Scarlet Chorus? They manage themselves, of course. Men and women of grit rise in the ranks to become gang bosses. When they take too many wounds, or their sword grows too heavy, then the boss claims their rightful place. In all our years, we've never granted a promotion. Conscripts and slaves are free to elevate their rank, or make up ranks as they go. The only condition is that they have the strength to defend the spot they carve out for themselves. Would you tell me about something about yourself? Why, we're honored that you would ask. We always thought that knives were the friendliest weapons. So eager to meet new people. You really have to appreciate these things. Well, we suspect that isn't what you want to know. A puff of green mist swirls behind his mask, taking the form of a smile before dispersing. No, it isn't. We are the Archon of Secrets, but call us whatever you want. Stories are our real trade. Take it from us. Everyone has a story, and all are welcome in our Hall of Wonders. He taps the side of his head. You'll have to excuse us if we ever seem not ourselves. Sometimes our stories bubble over the sides of the pot and spill through our mouth. Not to worry, it happens to us all. I'm actually curious about your history. By all means, then, would you prize secrets from our green flame, or luxuriate in the coming wind of our brilliance? Well, you cannot. Every secret is as precious to us as 1,000 lies, and we will consign you to the interrogators we find you stealing even a recipe for a hardtack. I don't wish to steal your secrets, Archon, only to learn from your brilliance. The voices in the rat regards you with unreadable expression. Have at us then. You may question us to your heart's content. Show no mercy. Why do you speak of yourself in the plural form? Because it is absolutely insane. Do you need another reason? That much should be obvious. We are multitudes, an army unto ourselves, a council of shadows babbling to be heard. Where there was one, now there are many. We are legion, a stream of consciousness given shape, will, and intention. We are the voices of Narat. Your body, the green flames. Why? We are greater than our confines. No stable form can house our magnificence. The flames around his neck flare out to form a regal collar. No mind could house our intellect, no body could entrap our skill. We are an all-consuming fire, unfixed and resplendent. This just seems out of place here. I guess that's pretty good. No mind could house our intellect. Nobody could entrap our skill. Okay, I already read that. Do you even hear yourself? You are art. Oh, pff. Keep licking that taint. Yes, and you're a receptive audience. You understand us more than many have tried or ever will. Tell me of your rise to power. In our youth, we were the youngest scion of House Narat. Those would be the early years of Kairos' reign, if numbers make any difference to your fragile matter. The Northern Empire wasn't the bastion of order and peace as we know it today. Our gracious overlord contended with sedition and lawlessness from his subjects, from his enemies, and even from the noble house of Narat. Yes, I'm sure you were also incredibly noble. Let me guess, your father was in debt to 100 brothels, and your mother drugged herself senseless so she didn't have to deal with looking at you. We would continue without your commentary, Songbird. He shoots her a piercing look, flaring up the green flames in his eyes. Whispers spread, as whispers do. House Narad never lacked in petty neighbors and bitter rivals. You must remember that these were delicate years for the Overlord. An accusation of treason was as damning as treason itself. Something had to be done before we fell under the shadow of our family's guilt. How did you escape the shadow of guilt? We did what came naturally, of course. We took initiative. Before any accusations could fly, we had our family driven to the city square and pilloried among the masses of Kairos unfaithful. Before the shocked eyes of the community, we interrogated them one by one, flaying their skins with tanner's knives and putting their loyalties to the test. Father, mother, sisters, aunts, all of them questioned, all of them found guilty. You tortured your own family? We tortured enemies of Kairos for the safety of the Empire. It was our ardent hope that someone would recognize the justness of our act and of the uncompromising need to carve a place for ourselves outside of our unfortunate family. What city was this? In no tongue your ear would recognize. We call it Waterlogged Marsh. You won't find our homeland on maps, but that is a story for another day. Were they guilty? We don't remember. We remember choosing to survive, and we remember the sound of skin peeling away from muscle. The rest was formality. It was all a demonstration for the Overlord. This one can be trusted, a message that was gratefully received. Our devotion to Kairos was the terror and pride of the community. The son of Narad had grown to something greater than our family name. In time, the Archon of Misery heard tell of our deeds and invited us into a better life. House Narad needed to be cleansed of treachery. If you truly believe so, then you're beginning to think like an Archon. You said the Archon of Misery offered a better life. He took it upon himself to be our instructor. He taught us the beauty of agony, how to slide the knife just so, how to divide flesh with no mortal wound, and how to inflict waking nightmares upon our foes. No more of our clumsy, blood-soaked efforts for spectacle. True torture is a sensory performance, staged for an audience of one. He made us an artist. We were proficient at our work. Our names spread beyond the boundaries of the child empire as people whispered it in private or shrieked it in fear. Whole galleries were erected to display our accomplishments, which were studied and interpreted by head-scratching scholars. Our talents with the blade, rope, and saw grew so renowned that Kairos' faithful and unfaithful alike believed we could steal truths from their minds with little more than a stare. And in time, life imitated art. Such is the beauty of Kairos' domain, that the remarkable reign over the mediocre, and their talents are recognized, nourished, perfected. I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable person. We must concede to your flattery, but we can't boast anything as incredible as power, can we? The green smoke behind his mask forms a crude smile. They say you're an interrogator without equal. What's your secret? We are full of secrets, and we can't be expected to share them with the adoring masses. We're certain that you have a few of your own, and you wouldn't want them brought to light. His empty green eye sockets stare with intensity. We do love a flatterer, don't we? A kind word here and there is enough to melt the coldest heart, of which we have several. I'm ready to learn anything you'll teach me. You are? Are you sure you know what you're suggesting? It's your funeral, not that they'll find a body. Teach you? Impudent, ambitious of the morsel. Our lessons come at a steep price. He chuckles, sending a gust of putrid green smoke across the gap between you. You will come to learn of us in time. Observe the workings of cacophony. Observe our grand design. One day our talents will be laid bare for you. What happens after you interrogate someone? Oh. Are you sure you want to know, Fatebinder? Let me make one thing clear. No matter how it starts, it always ends the same, with a horrible death. It's a transcendent experience. The subject and I, we grow to trust, depend upon, and even love each other. We have long since learned the pain and intensity of our conversation makes strange bedfellows. Apply it together, anything can happen. You never know, one day you might experience it yourself. Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? It amuses us to no end that you would bring that up. A brave question, full of meaning, of questions, of challenge. The Archon makes a determined fist and stares into you. We have had occasion to execute an Archon or two when Blade and Mark wasn't available. This was all within the limits of the law, you understand. Someone gets an inflated sense of self-importance and decides to start their own small empire, and we step forward to volunteer our services. The experience was always less fulfilling than we had hoped. Their personality succumbs to us, but none of their power, a waste of potential, we call it. Is your knowledge limitless? What a question. We know many things beyond the purview of the disgusting farmers and merchants you'll find outside of a vaunted stronghold. Much more than any of them could learn in 100 lifetimes. When you know as much as we do, this much will seem obvious. He leans uncomfortably closer to whisper. Nothing is limitless, child. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. Of course you have questions. We'd be disappointed if you didn't have any. Our first priority is to humiliate that piss bucket Grevenage But we'll have a better chance of it once every corner of the tiers is wearing red. Do you see our design, Fatebinder? Does our madness complement our method? We will invite every man, woman, or child who draws breath and occupies this fingernail of a peninsula to join the Scarlet Chorus. How do you do that? By understanding them, of course. The Tearsmen are passionate folk. You can't expect to win their cooperation with the ignorant, uninformed vision of a foreign power. The conquest is a delicate matter. It needs feeding, watering, soft caresses, a lullaby before bed. We will invite the leaders of the resistance to join us. If we have their leaders, the people will follow. You will bring them to us, yes? Chiefs, and ask the assets of chiefdom. As for how you factor into these plans, that is in part up to you. We have many ingots in the fire. It's more of a question of what piques your interest. The Blade Grave is a beautiful pocket of disorder. An edict shreds the land to ribbons, and soldiers by the hundreds are led into a furnace of war. Angry sons of old stalwart, dubbing themselves unbroken, clash spears with the disfavored. We can use the edict and the conflict to our benefit. They keep the disfavored occupied and the tears within our grasp. While these idiot juggernauts bash each other into ruin, we can exact what we need. The daughter of Graven Ash has a prisoner to these stalwart wretches. Secure her for us, and fetch her to Cacophony straight away. Inviting Ash's progeny into the fold is an advantage we cannot ignore. Seek out our also jagged remedy in Trappist Junction. He has cornered the beleaguered unit of Unbroken. Help him recruit their leader, Matthias, into the fold, that he might help us reach the jewel of the realm, the great keep of Sentinel Sand. A document of great power, the silent archive rests in the burning library. The archive is said to hold many secrets, any of which we can twist to our advantage. One of our gang bosses, the Censor, seeks the entrance to this queenly treasure. Aid her in the research, the search, and dispatch her back to us with any findings. Report back to us once you're finished. Our intelligence may be of use to you. What can you tell me about the Blade Grave? Before our conquest, it was the region of stalwart, warlike, and fiercely independent in character. The regent bloodline ruled by their torrid and often inbred lines of succession. Of course, the Edict of Storms has thrown all of that into disorder. Who rules the area now? A complex question with no clear answer. The Unbroken Legion, a rebel group of veterans from the stalwart army, struggle to maintain hold by force of arms. Behind the walls of Sentinel Sand, the last of the regents lives out his days, no doubt thinking himself as strong and relevant as ever. Tell me about Graven Ash's daughter. As severe and uncompromising as her idiot father, we would liken her to a tower shield with a voice like a ram's horn warped out of tune. We met the girl but once, and we nearly came to blows. If war and the passage of years have softened her temper, then we should get along magnificently when you present her at Cacophony. About the Edict of Storms. Ah, your little handiwork. We envy you, Stormcaller. To have been the conduit of such power, it must have been a pleasure like no other. Swirling maelstorms now blast the land, and sentinels stand. The fortified heart of Bladegrave is both trapped and imprisoned by Kyros's edict. The cowardly regent who survived the war hides there to this day, protected and imprisoned by Kyros's anger. Only by piercing the unforgiving fabric of that storm could anyone reach its heart and drive a blade through its core. Sweetie! Sweetie. You need to go pee pee? Okay. But you can. What can you tell me about the burning library, a repository of books, engulfed in the flames of Kairos' edict? Yet the pages refuse to burn. The sages cast protective magic over their ancient archive. Books by the thousand lay bare for the reading, but forbidden and hot to the touch. Then there's the greatest treasure of all, the silent archive, an intelligent, living text. The archive is safeguarded in the lowest depths of the library, locked away from the undeserving eyes. Our censor, the dispatch to the library, seeks the archive as we speak. Tell me about the silent archive. Must you bore us with your incessant ponderings? Go speak with our lackey, Seven Toes. She can weather the relentless assaults of your curiosity. Wait, what?
Have a look here.
What do you think of our throne? As much as we hate a cold, unmoving chair, this one suits us, without a spot. To plant ourselves, we would pace the length of the old walls every day in our contemplation. Hail, Fatebinder. Voices of Narad ordered me to answer any of your pestering questions, so I guess that's what I'm here to do, she scoffs. Not what I'd call a lieutenant's work, but I'm not here to question the voices. So what do you need from me? I started out like most Scarlet Chorus rats, conscripted off the farm and armed with a pitchfork. It didn't take me long to warm up to the idea of Kairos' army. We had more freedom than the tiers ever allowed, and I've never been opposed to joining the winning side. I didn't want to see the whole war from the front lines, so the first order of business was to kill my gang boss and take his place. Easily done. He was a louse. I ran with at least half-dozen gangs since the start of the conquest, and it funneled me all the way to Cacophony. It's not an easy life, but there's no lack of amusement to be had, and plenty of opportunities for advancement. If you're curious how I got this gig, you can check out the previous lieutenants over there. She thumbs over a still figure impaled on the spike. The voice is a sucker for ambition and clever solutions to a problem. What do you think of the voices of Narad? He's the boss. He calls the shots, and I follow. I don't ask a lot of questions. She glances around, uncomfortable. I'll say this much. You don't want to insult him, especially when he's going on about his art. He takes that sort of thing personally. Not that you could really tell under that great bronze helmet of his. Do you enjoy your work in the Scarlet Chorus? I enjoy surviving, and right now the chorus is the only way to do it. The disfavor don't allow foreigners into their legion. Until the war is over and the tears on the Kairos heal, it's red or dead. I never surrendered. I never suspected I would have a taste for the work until I got started at the front lines. Something about carving a path through enemies and watching the army grow behind you is just satisfying. Makes me feel good to belong to something. Go ahead, can't have you doing the voice's bidding uninformed. He's not what you'd call a perfectionist, at least by our understanding of the word, but he likes to have his orders understood. The Edict of Storms stored up something good, made it all but unrecognizable from Old Stalwart. That hasn't stopped fanatics like the Unbroken from rallying as if their old country still existed. Last I heard, they've had Graven Ash's daughter in chains since the last year of the conquest. I don't know how Stalwart treats his prisoners, but the disfavor they're known for taking a beating. There's no telling what she's endured. Who rules the area now? No telling these days. The disfavor that are nominally in control and the Unbroken act like they never lost the war, of course. Their leaders are holed up behind the walls of Sentinel sand, so no matter how you cut it, there isn't much to rule, unless you want to be queen of a tornado, which doesn't sound half bad. If she's anything like her father, then she's a stubborn as a wall and nearly half as smart. All that aside, they say she fights like a charging beast. We heard about her before even the disfavored march south. She's got a temper something fierce, and an independent streak that has always been at odds with her disfavored roots. I'm curious about your thoughts on the Edict of Storms. The only good thing about the edict is that you can see it from plenty far away. A massive tornado built of Kairos' frustration swirls around Sentinel Sand, the seat of power in Old Stalwart. They say that it'll only exhaust itself when the last of Stalwart's ruling family is dead. Can't say if that's true or not, but it makes for a good story, eh? It used to be known as the Vellum Citadel. It's not a pretty sight since Kairos' edict of fire burned up the old sage fortress and made the treasure inside damn near unreachable to anyone. That won't stop the censor from trying. We still find reasons to fight that flaming hole in the ground. There's something called the Silent Archive that the voices seem to think you can recover. Even if we pull some books out of that inferno, I can't think of anyone but him who could read them. Tell me the Silent Archive. Hey, what do I know? Considering the place is a library, I guess we're talking about a book. How many books? Go find a sage and beat it out of them if you're so curious. That certainly won't be necessary. The Silent Archive is a centuries-long passion project of School of Ink and Quill, a magical repository of knowledge that generations of sages have built over the ages. And no, I was never allowed to see it. 30 years of service, and I still need another decade to be considered for the initiation. What about this edict? I set the edict, didn't I? The sages refused to bend the knee and give up their research. What's more, they defended the Vellum Citadel by raining fire on their heads on our armies. Enough was enough, so Kairos set the place to burn. The sages must have laid some protection on the library, because it seems to burn without burning, you know? It just stands there in flames, not turning to ash like it should. Love! What's going on with you? Who is the censor? One of the voices gang bosses. She takes the duty of controlling information, as in the Archon couldn't do it himself. My guess. She wants to be the next Archon of Secrets, so she's positioning herself as the middle woman between the voices and any words of wisdom he considers valuable. We'll see how long that lasts. Looks like I'm bound for the burning library. I don't envy you the task, no matter what you find there. Good hunting.
You learn something every day.
You can only pick one or the other. Yeah, you can only do one or the other, it looks like, when you pick the quest. You You can't have both of them at the same time.
I got it. Can't do that. Sweet love. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Stan's Challenger. That requires me to hire Fitbind Assessor though. But that's a lot of money. But maybe it's worth it. Of course.
Feral Howl's a hunting pack of beastmen. Their leader's an impressive specimen, her mane black as night and her body scarred from battle. Ooh, one of your friends, girly love? Hmm? One of your friends? kills in shadow. Before you towers a massive creature of fur and flesh, her short black snout snuffling the air.
Know this scent. Stench of blood, sweat, battle, iron and death. Smells like alpha. Smells of strength. What is me?
You're smelling my balls. The beast woman cocks her head to one side, eyes bright with curiosity and red as fresh blood. Those eyes rove your body up and down, darkening with a sudden heat, with a look that a predator bestows its prey.
Have been stalking human centrail. Have ranged many more than 5 nights through tribe and human territories of Tyr's land, hunting for human called Fate Binder, for human who woke Horizon Rock called Mountain Spire. Have hunted hot high, cold low, wet dry, traipsed far until paws bled, but always human who smelled of alpha evaded beast woman. Had to sneak through shadows, fast, quick, without rest to catch delicious prey at last.
She tongues her blade sharp, discolored fangs, and exhales a pleased growl. Your markings must be from the Shadow Hunter tribe.
Fate Binder knows tribes of beast women. Curious human. Male who smells of alpha and knows of Shadow Hunter tribe. Best tribe. Lost tribe of kills in shadow.
Her eyes pin you with lust, the look of a wolf that's found a hare. Slap kills and shadows in the face. Thick muscles ripple and flex as the beast woman rises to her full height. She towers over you. 8+ feet of savage, rough-hewn strength. Her coat is matted and scarred. She spits a wad of blood and mucus at your feet.
Will kill. Will rip throat out. Will lash, twist and mangle.
Oh shit.
Stop.
Yeah, killer. No. You go over here, you fight this.
Felt nothing. Followed by shadow.
Better than bloodied, the beast woman drops on all fours. She crouches low, barely rubbing the dirt as she ducks her head in snow submission. You were saying, I believe you were going to mangle me, correct?
Yield! Shadow yields to Fate Binder.
Why have you tracked me down? Why get in my way?
No human called Fate Binder. Kairos reads words on paper. Fate Binder binds words to earth and sky. Makes ground tremble. Makes night cry. Blood and fire.
What would a beast woman know of Tunon's fate binders?
Human is not first Fate Binder. Kills in shadow has hunted.
She chuffs, darkly amused.
Tribes of Kairos fear Fate Binder. Human Alpha claimed Horizon Rock called Spire, and Archons did not kill Fate Binder. Archons rolled over and whined, covetous.
And what's your point, beast woman?
Kairos hunts human realms to extinction. Rules tribe of blood and ruin, starvation and death. Seeks to slaughter beast women like prey. But beast women are not prey. Are not flighty, feeble-minded humans.
Killing Shadow spits a gob of tawny mucus on the ground.
Beastwomen are savage hunters, bred to fight Kirut, like Fatebinder who smells of alpha. Strong always kill weak, then grow weak. Killed is migration of life. Kills in Shadow is not weak now. Will not be weak for many long seasons. Will join Fatefinder and survive Kairos' tribe.
If you want to join me, it'll have to be as my beta.
Kills in Shadow is not beta. Even Alpha submit to stronger-willed primas. Many packs make a tribe. Is this not a thought humans also understand? Beastwoman will follow Fatebinder. Will not dominate. Unless Fatebinder begins to smell weak.
She tongues one of her upper fangs, lips split in a feral grin. No, I won't risk you turning on me. I want some assurances first. Clawed fingers etch the length of a furrowed scar on Kill in Shadow's cheek. Her eyes, red and fresh blood, regard you with deadly interest. You will provide me insight on matters regarding your kith.
Alpha is a clever hunter. Kills in Shadow approves. Will help Fatebinder study and stop quarry. Will pop up around slippery ice issues.
You will swear your loyalty to me. Her nostrils flare wide as she sucks in deep breaths. Her eyes flick to one side before setting back on your face.
Swear! Won't kill Fatebinder while Fatebinder sleeps.
She jets her chin and peels her lips back to reveal glistening fangs, clearly pleased with herself. You will do as I say.
Beastwoman will do this. Beastwoman will do that. Such whining and begging makes Beastwoman think Fatebinder fears Kills in Shadow. Will not follow Alpha, who trembles at shadows, even killing ones.
Fine, but keep your nose to yourself.
Kills in Shadow will not shelter stone whelps anymore. Scamper and flee. Not want to see shadows lurking, stalking behind. Bard cleft his leader now. Will not like if Kills in Shadow catches sight or scent of stone mongrels again.
You would think that she would be more fearful if you ask for more things, but it's interesting that's not the case, you know. The more you ask for assurances, the weaker you seem to her. Dang, I didn't know we can get a fucking crazy mongrel in our team. That's interesting. But she can stay in the back. I don't need her. We still have Barrack. I like Barrack, even though she can replace Barrack pretty much, I think. Do we want Barrack there? Yeah, we do, because Barrack is a really interesting character to me. You know, the whole thing about being stuck in the armor. He's shitting in his armor. He's not able to clean his ass. It's really interesting. So we'll keep Barrack here. Maybe we'll bring Kill in Shadow at a later time. She probably stinks less than Barrack, but who knows? Alright. Oh. Frequent attempts to harvest the azureth crystals have made the stone stalkers more hostile to humans who enter the stone sea. Azureth crystals are found throughout the stone sea and highly revered by stone stalkers. Can we actually go up here? Chadius Maximus, do you remember your training under Blade and Mark? I remember mine. Funny to think that you and I are about a century apart, but to Blade and Mark, we are all children. I'm now the oldest of the court's children, and I've seen much in my time. There was a burst of arcane energy that drowned out my senses, and I woke at the summit of the spire, what seems to be just a few heartbeats of time. Atop the spire is an old sculpture of sorts, and it seems to be the core of the spire's mystic energy. I've been seeing visions and receiving sensations from the sculpture. It seems odd to describe it as talking to me, but that seems the closest analogy. Am I the first to report such things? There are other spires elsewhere in the world, correct? Where is the... You see, this one you can sleep here, but for some reason you can't do it at the other location. So that's why I think it's kind of weird. I thought he's the one who can... No, so he's not like a master forger. Oh, it... Wow, completely resets everything completely. That's amazing. What is armor deflection?
Oh, I see. How do I? Okay. Nice. The subterfuge is shared, right? Like if there's a test for subterfuge, then it's shared. At least I hope so. Baby, did you fart again? God damn. Just don't fart into my hands, baby. Ow, ow. What are you doing? Sweetheart.
Right.
What are you doing, baby?
At your service, Fatebinder. What do you need? What did you have in mind? Well, if you're baiting me for a compliment, you're talking to the wrong girl. What do you need? What did you have in mind? Well, if you're baiting me for a compliment, you're talking to the wrong girl.
don't have a gang anymore, and I wouldn't throw in my lot with any of the killers floating around the Starlit Chorus ranks. The fact of the matter is you're doing important work, even if you stumble and flail along the way. Besides, once this Civil War business is taken care of, I figure anyone who follows in your shadow is due for some deserving reward. Though maybe some are more deserving than others. You've satisfied your curiosity, so let me satisfy mine. Why are you keeping a little scrap of a thing like me around? Oh, boy. We're getting into that territory, are we? Look, I know that folks tend to buddy up when they're in a camp together, but I'm not really friend material. Hate to let you down, but that's the long and short of it. I can promise you I'll stay loyal to your cause for as long as you'll have me, but I can't promise that we'll share anything more intimate than a stiff drink when all this is over. Deal?
Fatebinder wants Beast Woman? Best way is with bloodshed, yeah. Fatebinder has many allies. More enemies. Which do Fatebinder and Kills in Shadow on today? Kills in Shadow does not understand human behavior towards mystics. Tribes should value, protect mystics, not treat like outcasts, caitiffs forced into separate packs. Humans fear and snivel, snap at own mystics, until mystics become strong alphas like Archons. Then humans grovel and beg favor. Follow Archons in droves. Maybe Fatebinder understands ways of human mystics better. Maybe not. Ask and discover. Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Humans of these lands, of Beast Woman lands, humans called Kingsmen who struggle to fight against Fate Binder's tribe. would fate bind to have kills and shadows stalk for slaughter first. Strongest humans and beast women lands. Earth blood must pump hot fast through veins. Are tenacious, undefeated. Stand tough as mountains, even against disfavored.
Do not get taken in by the unbroken reputation. The people of Stalwart are fond of rewriting history in favor of a version that fits their sensibilities. Imagine that many people rallying around an idea, a story.
Many humans live in beast women lands. Kills in shadow, nose tearsmen pack well. Lying kith. Or not brood brothers, use bronze kid claws. Smell of tanned hide, blood, piss, and fire water. Fight like black-striped jackals. Laughing, nimble, reckless. Fight for trinkets, not survival. No pack was defeated by Kairos' tribe. Was small, easily hunted first time. Fight for trinkets. No. You could not have won second time. Was like hare challenging wolf.
No, cute way of putting it. Though I think Kairos technically has two tribes that like to knock us around time and time again.
Lead conversation. Beast woman will follow. What now does fate find a wish to hear about?